Hello guys, Chris Leddy here. I am 7 months and change post microdiscetomy on my l5-s1, the disc. I had a bulging disc and extreme sciatica pain. I suffered with the pain for 8-9 months. I am a jiu-jitsu instructor. I have been practicing jiu-jitsu and martial arts and sports and weightlifting of all kinds for as long as I can remember. And for most of my adult life, I have struggle is the wrong word, but I have been troubled a little bit with lower back pain. Nothing that ever kept me out more than 2-3 weeks at the worst. Nothing that a little bit of physiotherapy, a little bit of massage, a little bit of gentle rehab stretching, nothing that something like that didn't fix until at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I ran into this extreme sciatica pain. And if you followed some of the videos, you might remember me saying what was interesting for me about this case is I didn't have any low back pain at all around the time of the really, really bad sciatica. And over the years where I did struggle, I only had low back pain. I never had any sciatica. So this sciatica was a new thing for me. End of 2019, start of 2020, it got very, very serious. It got extremely debilitating. I'm a guy that's willing to take things to extremes, and because it was so bad, I just didn't sit down. And I literally did not sit down in a chair except for to go to the toilet for more than 6 months. And that's not an exaggeration. Literally, I did not sit down. The only things I did were stand and lie on my stomach. It was really, really bad. I did everything to try to avoid surgery. I went for walks, although I was limping. I tried every type of rehab, every type of exercise, or so I thought. I tried everything. I reached out to as many people as I can, and I really feel like I exhausted as many opportunities and methods that I had available to me at the time. I got a epidural injection, a steroid injection in the area to try to help this numbed the pain slightly for a day or 2 days, and then it all just came back. Coronavirus hit in Ireland and worldwide, and the situation in the hospitals wasn't great, meaning that my access to physiotherapy, my access to surgery, my access to advice, my access to pain relief, all of these things were kind of taken away. Long story short, I got the surgery through a little bit of email and then a little bit of complaining, but at a time where it was very, very necessary for me. At the end, I couldn't walk, I couldn't really go to the toilet, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't cough, I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't bend over in any shape or form. I had limited, extremely limited forward flexion, like an inch of forward flexion and agony. I was taking all types of medication. At the very least, I was taking Nurofen, all day, and then I was taking stuff on top of that. Eventually, the doctors prescribed me some quite serious epilepsy medication and antidepressants, which apparently have some combined effect on your nerve. This wasn't for me. Also, I didn't think the surgery was for me either. I'm someone who the only surgery I have ever had in my life was on ingrown toenail that I had from wearing football boots that were too tight when I was younger. So, I've had injuries through jiu-jitsu and through martial arts that I've always rehabbed with exercise, and I've always got back to some level of performance or health or fitness, or so I believed, through exercise and rest, or changing around a little bit of a rehab plan or seeing a physiotherapist or something like this. I would always be someone previously who had advocated again, well, geez, don't be getting a surgery. I wouldn't be letting the doctor in, cut you open. This is really, really dramatic, and can we recover from this? I don't know. So it's worth noting that I was in absolutely no rush to get this surgery, and it was very, very scary for me, and still is a scary thing to have done. I'm 31. I'm someone who enjoys sports. My job is to teach jiu-jitsu, which is a very dynamic movement. There's a lot of flexion and extension and twisting of the spine, and I get this surgery on my back, and I'm really, really worried. At the time, I was really, really worried about what level of fitness I would be able to return to. Long story short, I'm still not doing jiu-jitsu yet, but it's absolutely on the horizon. I got the surgery, and I've been recovering from it since. I'm 7 months and change, like I said, from the surgery now. I have no sciatic pain to speak of. I don't really have any back pain to speak of. although I do have some discomfort, I do have still a sensation of instability. I have lost mentally a lot of faith with that area of my body, and I'm sure, and for good reason. I would feel nervous to do a really, really fast twist. I would feel certainly nervous to pick up a really, really heavy deadlift or something like this. But the things that I can do now that I couldn't do a few months ago, I've made massive progress. Like I said, little or no pain to speak of. Some days, if I sleep funny, when I wake up, I sleep in a funny position perhaps. I wake up and I feel it in my toes a little bit. Some days I feel a little bit stiff, absolutely, in my low back. But that sciatic pain, that crippling, that killer pain, was almost instantly gone after the surgery. It came back, it went away, it came back, it went away. But now it's just pretty much gone altogether. If I was someone who didn't have a career or a passion for sports and movement, you could almost say I was cured. If I was someone my parents' age, in their 60s or maybe even beyond, that had undergone this surgery, I'm cured. I can sit down again, I can drive my car again, I can walk again, I can sleep again. But I want more from this, and I'm sure many people watching the video want more from this than just that basic level of pain-free life, although if you're at the stage that I was, I'm at a stage now in my recovery where I see more on the horizon. But leading up to my surgery, I didn't care about returning to jiu-jitsu. I didn't care about sports or exercise or anything like that. I just cared about getting out of that crippling pain. So once I started to get beyond that pain, once I started to see the gains that I was able to make, I say, okay, now I always believed I was going to get back to some sports, to some jiu-jitsu, but sometimes you need to see it to believe it. And that's certainly the position that I'm starting to find myself in now. I can see the improvements that I'm making. I can see things that I can do. I can sit for a long time. I can even sit in a couch for a little bit. I can drive my car for a couple of hours, no pain whatsoever. I can walk without a limp. I never really wake up with any pain. And sometimes if I have some pain in the evening or discomfort in the evening, I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be there in the morning. And I wake up in the morning and I feel good. I can bend over again, I can pick things up again, I can do some exercise again. I am just getting into maybe starting to go for a few jogs again. I'm walking a lot, I'm exercising my legs and my core a lot. But there's incredible amount of things that I can do that, never mind before the surgery, that even 2-3 months after the surgery that I couldn't do. So the progression is real, and the relief is real for me. Like I said, the only things that I still think I couldn't do would maybe be jump as high as I can and land on my feet hard. Sprint, I don't think I want to sprint. I don't think I'd want to do a really fast twist just yet. And that's not even because I'm worrying about re-herniating my disc or anything like that. More so that this just whole area of my lower back is tight, chronically dysfunctional. My core wasn't working right. I didn't really have the proper mechanics in my body to turn left and right. I wasn't breathing correctly. I was lots of compression in the back and lots of looseness and decompression in the front of my body. So it's going to take me a little while to build up the confidence mentally and physically to be able to get back and do those things. But that's kind of all I feel like I'm missing at the moment. And if you're someone who isn't interested in a fast turn or a jumping off a wall or a hard impact sport, well then, maybe 6-7 months after the surgery, like I am now, maybe you'll consider yourself healed. Now, it's worth noting as well, my 6 or 7 months after the surgery aren't the same as everyone else's 6 or 7 months, excuse me. My 6 or 7 months, much different, okay? How I know that is, I'm in a group on Facebook, a microdiscetomy group, and it's for people that have had or are leading up to the same surgery that I underwent, and very likely in the same position as you watching this video. And I don't know if it's a disconnect physically. Maybe these people haven't experienced the benefits of exercise and sports and movement before. I don't know if it's a sense of hopelessness. I don't know if it's through receiving bad and just bad advice, maybe from an exercise practitioner, maybe from their surgeon, maybe from friends and family. But people seem to get the surgery and then just wait to get better. There's some guys and girls that post in that and they say, hey, I'm 12 months post surgery and I still haven't bent over yet. When do you guys think that you can start to bend over again? And it's like, holy crap. First of all, whatever about looking to share a story with someone on Facebook, to reach out and say, hey, can you share some good stories of recovery? Can you share some maybe things to try to avoid? Whatever about using the community like that. But, you know, to use the community for some sort of advice on what, like, that this is crazy stuff. I'm going on a bit of a waffle here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there's massive amount of people that have got this surgery, and most of them don't know anything about their body. They don't know anything about what's happening. They don't know anything about the impacts or the implications of this surgery. They don't know maybe what led them to that position. It's very, very likely movement or lack of led them to this postural or, you know, structural problem that forces the disc to press to the nerve that requires the surgery. Because so many people in the world are bags of spuds, you know, like they're not moving, they're sedentary, There's loads of stats on these. Oh, well, everybody has a bulging disc. It's like, yeah, because everybody's disconnected from their physical and disconnected from their health and movement, and they have no experience or respect for the process of exercise. And for example, I was interested in lifting weights when I was young, okay? And I experienced quite early, if I do lots of bicep curls, and then if I eat a few protein shakes, my bicep gets bigger. Okay, so I have experienced the benefit of exercise. I have experienced the benefit of a good diet. I, at one stage in my life, said, I'd like to get a little bit leaner. So I committed to a little bit of a better diet and I experienced the benefit of that. So in my head, it's very, very, very clear the association between exercise, input to the body, a physical input or food or water or sleep, these adaptations, these things that I can change are very, very clearly associated with the actual change and benefit for me. But some of these people, I can tell based on the questions, I can tell based on their Facebook profiles, these aren't people that have a connect with exercise. These aren't people that have experienced these same things as me before. Now, bear in mind, I'm not talking down on these people. These people could be, you know, NASA scientists. These people could be brain surgeons and stuff. I'm not saying that you're a bad person or you're a stupid person. I have a disconnect with many, many things in my life. I just happen to be in a lucky position where I'm a sporty guy. I'm a little bit clued in a little bit to the anatomy. I have a bit of information about movement. I understand my core. I understand a little bit my legs. I understand the postural positions that led me, certainly more so nowadays, but I understand what it looks like to have a bad back. I understand what it looks like to have a bit of a better back, a bit of better movement. So I'm not putting myself on a pedestal necessarily, rather trying to highlight how lucky I am to be the person that knows that you can exercise yourself better and that has faith in the process of exercise and that doesn't expect it to work straight away and will be consistent with the input, will get good sleep, good water, will try to de-stress in as many ways as possible, will really, really, really rest post-surgery. I see people in that same Facebook group saying, hey, 10 days after surgery, am I okay to go for a 3-hour hike? It's like, no, obviously not. You're okay to go for a 3-hour hike, you know? I took it very, very, very easy after the surgery. I didn't sit down for 8 weeks plus after the surgery. What's the rush? Why do you need to sit down for? The things that gave us so much trouble and might still be giving you so much trouble right now if you haven't had the surgery yet. What's the rush to get back to them? Do you know? I see so many people in the group that, hey, 6 days after surgery, it hurts to sit on the couch. Any tips? Don't sit on the couch, do you know? So the reason I am feeling good today, the reason that I am feeling better today, yes, because I had the surgery, but 80% because of what I've done after the surgery. I was lucky, I was blessed to connect with a really, really knowledgeable and genuine and clever and generous rehab guy here in Ireland. David Gray with a EY, Grey. You find them on Instagram if you have an Instagram account. Extremely interesting stuff. And if you're someone like me that's involved in sports and exercise, stuff that nobody's talking about and stuff that nobody told me and stuff that I wish I knew 10 years ago. I wish I knew, and I wish I could have given myself to this training and this method of rehabilitation before I got injured. I wish I knew, and I wish somebody had given me this advice before. I followed strength and conditioning program and powerlifting programs. So we did some Olympic lifting, we did some kettlebells, we did some sprints, we did some planks, we did some squats and deadlifts. That's how I ended up in trouble, guys. I did everything I was told. I'm a sporty guy, train jiu-jitsu, I eat well, I lift weights, I get some good sleep, I drink lots of water, I take my vitamins, I take my supplements. Everybody looks to me in the gym for, oh, Chris is in great shape, he must. I was just following advice, and it turned out that it wasn't a great advice. So I'm lucky again, post-surgery, that I'm someone who, A, found someone who can really guide me in the right direction, and B, that I am an individual who is dedicated in that regard. There's many areas in my life that I lack the dedication and consistency and responsibility in many areas. So again, just highlighting that I'm not talking down on someone who's not fit. I'm not saying, oh, just because you don't know how to do exercise that you're stupid. I promise you, I'm not saying that. I don't know how to do so many things. Luckily, I know how to do a few exercises, and I'm willing to apply those exercises daily, weekly, monthly. I'm willing to stay consistent with a diet. I'm willing to get some good sleep. I'm willing to take it very easy if I feel a little bit sore. I'm willing to take it very easy if I feel a bit stiff. And most importantly, I researched, learned, reached out to as many people as possible that could help me in this area. And I found out how I ended up here. I found out if a physio told you, hey, it's a hamstring, well, why? There's further steps to go. Well, why is it a hamstring? And even after that, okay, well, because you're breathing different. Well, why are you breathing different? Well, how do you fix that? Trace it all back. We need to understand where we're coming from and where we're going. Again, to talk about that same Facebook group, I see people that are just, hey, any exercises for, I've just had the surgery, and people are sharing just these pre-packaged YouTube, 5 best exercises for a post. That's not how it is, guys. We are individuals. We all ended up in these problems for different reasons and in different ways. And it is unbelievably important to understand that your body craves these movements. Your body craves these postures and muscles to be working and bones to be working and shifting from left to right and breathing properly and filling up your lungs and your ribs, strengthening your core, strengthening your legs. We are an animal. We are a moving, living creature. And if you just sit on your ass after you have the surgery, it's not going to get better. It's very likely that these things put you there in the first place. This isn't like getting a haircut, You wait till your hair gets long and you get a haircut, and then you just wait till it gets long again. Here, you wait till your disc gets bulged, you wait till your back gets sore, you wait till your nerve gets compressed, you get the surgery, and then you just let it happen again. Please don't fall into that. Please don't fall into that trap, guys, because and look, touch wood. I'm not out of the trees or the woods here yet. I have a long way to go until I am 100%. So there's no guarantee, and I'm doing my best. I have faith. I am being responsible. I'm being consistent. I'm being optimistic, but there's no guarantee. So with that in mind, guys, you have to be responsible. You have to be safe. You have to understand that a lot of this is on us, and we have to take massive amounts of personal responsibility. Right after the surgery, I was full of praise for the surgeon. This intervention, it was a fantastic surgeon. I was lucky enough that he was able to do an incredibly clean job. I felt fine afterwards. I felt stiff and I felt sore, but I'm incredibly thankful to the surgeon. But as soon as I started doing my exercises, as soon as I connected with a proper rehab expert, exercise expert, as soon as I connected with them, forget about surgeon. Now it's on. I've had the surgery. I've had the haircut. Now I need to grow in a different way. I need to change my body in a different way. If you ended up in the microdiscetomy surgery room, because you never exercise in your life, because you're a little bit maybe overweight, because you have a little bit maybe postural things. I wasn't overweight and I still was fecked. So it's not just, again, I'm not just saying, oh, it's if you're overweight, you're going to have a sore back. If you have a disconnect in any of these areas and then you ended up with a low back pain, when you get the surgery, try not to just, try not to go back straight into those areas. Imagine you were a really, really heavy smoker and you ended up developing a problem in your lungs that needed an operation or that needed medical intervention. We can see how it's probably not the best idea after that medical intervention to just go straight back smoking 50 cigarettes a day. If you're someone who's addicted to coffee, and the coffee's making you go crazy and your heart go crazy and you end up having to take medication to calm your heart down again. Well, then once your heart goes back to normal, you're not going to just start horsing into coffees. I hope this is the same here. If you're like me, you need to take some personal responsibility here. If you're just someone who has general low back pain, don't just succumb to, well, that's normal part of life. Everyone has low back pain. Yeah, everyone has low back pain because everyone is disconnected in these areas, okay? Don't fall into that trap. Apologies again for the lack of the lack of updates. I was doing weekly ones and here I am 7 months later. But once you can exercise better, once you can move a little bit better, once you can get out and about in the world a little bit better, it just doesn't be in the front of your head, in the front of your mind, to make a video like this. If anybody has any questions, you reach out to me. If anybody wants to know a little bit more about the timeline, about when I'm expecting to return to you can reach out to me and let me know. But again, it's important to realize, and I realize now, that it doesn't matter what exercises I did. It doesn't matter what exercises the next guy that you're going to watch in the video does. It just matters that you find what exercises you need based on your situation. And it's important to find someone that can guide you, thoroughly and expertly in that regard. I would not be sitting here talking to you pain-free, comfortable, good posture, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, not feeling worried, not feeling panicked and anxious. I would not be this person now if I did not connect again with David Gray, my friend in Ireland. He's based in Waterford in Ireland. Incredible guy and really, really good coach and teacher. Maybe I would have been lucky enough to find someone else who could have told me the same things he did, but I wasn't. I was lucky to find him. And I would not be sitting here chatting to you guys if it wasn't for him and the surgeon, okay? If I just had the surgery, I don't know, guys. So that's the big takeaway from what I want to explain to you guys today. To bullet point it, too long, didn't read. Personal responsibility. We ended up here because of something that we are doing or not doing. We're doing something too much or we're not doing something enough, very, very likely. And we need to learn what that is. Personal responsibility also in terms of consistency and dedication with some sort of routine to take us away from this. But I guess what's important to maybe put before that is find somebody who can explain to you how you got there and how you can get away from there. And yeah, guys, don't get caught in the trap. This is a physical problem, If something keeps breaking with your car, wouldn't it be great if you learned how to fix it instead of having to keep bringing it back to the mechanic? And if something keeps breaking in your body, wouldn't it be great if you figured out why? Your body wants to be working better than it is today, and we need to give it the opportunity to do that. So reach out, connect with somebody in your area, find somebody in your area. If you're in Ireland, find David. If you're worldwide and you speak English, find David. And hopefully he can, or someone can help you in the same way that he helped me. Yeah, that's me, guys. I'm sitting in a chair here talking to you. I was limping and walking in all my other videos. Couldn't imagine doing one of these videos sitting down. And here I am, pain-free. I'm not even worried I could sit here for another 2 hours. And I hope you guys find some relief in watching these videos. Again, just make sure that you learn a little bit more and take some responsibility like I did. It's my fault. I ended up there because of my poor education on posture and movement, and because that dedicated person who is consistent with exercise, was consistently doing the wrong exercises, was consistently putting my body into a compromised position and setting myself up for liability. Whereas now I'm trying to set myself up for health and better movement and better posture and better control. And I certainly feel like I'm doing a good job so far. Best of luck to you guys wherever you are. I'll update again when I can go for a run, which is hopefully soon, and I'll update again when I can do jiu-jitsu. But please don't be shy, reach out to me in the meantime if you have any questions. Up the Bray Wanderers, and Happy New Year. Okay, see you soon.